Good afternoon. Another week goes by as rapidly as I think any do, and it gets us closer to September the 28th, where we will be having our 28th USA Memory Championship. This past week, the mental athletes received their long-term memory data, and it was all about national parks. So they'll now be studying what they need to for their long-term memory with questions that we'll give them that range anywhere from how many million people visited this park and how many acres is it and when was it founded and what were some of the highlights of visiting the park that you might find. And their initial take on this is, God, this is a relief. It isn't as much information as we've had to study in the past. But when we start asking them questions about it, they've got to start integrating the information so it's not just a matter of a regurgitation, but it demonstrates their comprehension of it. It's a whole different story. And by the way, I'd be happy if all of the mental athletes competing in that event all did everything we asked them to, and we ran out of questions, and we've got 12 people going into the final next round, which would be words to remember, where they have to remember 300 words in 15 minutes. And that goes in the head-to-head as well. So all excited, but today the trophy came. And in today's shipping I received from Hudson Glass, a company I've used now probably close to 10 years, Hudson Glass, Hudson Glass. They make different trophy ornaments in different kinds. They are from Louisville, Kentucky. They have been just so wonderful to work with. I got to meet one of their original founders at a craft fair here in Mount Dora, Florida. People ask me, how did you ever find this? Like, how did you find somebody that makes this for you? Well, we went to a craft fair in February 10 years ago. And I'm going along looking at these beautiful glass ornaments and figures that this person had in their booth. And lo and behold, there was a seahorse, and boy, was it beautiful. Colored, different mix of colors, and just absolutely beautiful. And so I got a business card, and the next year, when I ran the Memory Championship, we were having a seahorse as our trophy to the winner. Which brings us to the question most people will ask me. Why does the winner get a seahorse? And so I explained to people that our memories are stored in something we call a hippocampus. A hippocampus, which is in our brain, which is the central processing unit for memories. And it just so happens, if you look at some of the pictures that are on MRIs or in diagrams of the brain that explode what the different elements are of axons and neurons and cells and the different pieces of the brain as it's divided, the cortex and what have you. The hippocampus looks like a seahorse. And so many in the science community, when they're describing the hippocampus, describe it as it looks like the shape of a seahorse. And I got the thought and said, my goodness, here is this booth in an art fair that has got a seahorse, and I was always looking for seahorses in different craft shops of one sort or another, but they were either too small or they were wooden, or they just didn't have that pop that I was looking for to give a winner. I mean, this is the winner of a memory championship, and I want to be able to give them something that if they're being pictured or televised or snapshotted for a magazine or some form, they had something that was about a foot tall, and had some nice bright, sharp colors. And the booth that I saw at the Mount Dora Arts Fair had this seahorse that was like, wow, can you make me one of those with a USA Memory Championship engraving on it? And that's what I would present to the winner as a demonstration of their abilities to retain information from long-term to a word list to the Tea Party events that we have to the order of 2 decks of cards that would demonstrate to themselves as they would look at this as, my God, this is a symbol of what I was able to teach and work with in my brain that stuck, that I could prove that these were skills that just didn't come and go, but that it would represent when I looked at this 1 foot picture or 1 foot statue of the seahorse, I would realize, my goodness, look at what I've accomplished, and be proud of myself to the extent that I was able to compete against the best of the best and come out as the USA Memory Championship. And certainly being now our 25th year, we've had different prizes and things that we've given to people. But the Seahorse has stayed the course. It is something that represents the best icon of memory when you understand that a hippocampus, you were to look at it through some of the MRIs and pictures of your brain, you'd come to realize that, oh my goodness, this reminds me of my hippocampus, but more importantly, it reminds me of my brain. And that's what's inside here that we are all using to some degree every day to make a difference in information that we're learning, people we're meeting, numbers that we need to recall and utilize, hopefully in our bank accounts or in our addresses or in different security codes of one sort or another. And when you add all of this up together, what we want you to see is this seahorse as this icon, right? We talk about icons on computers all the time, and icons we use in graphics, and icons we use in texting. Well, this is the icon that we want to use for people to remember to think of when you see this seahorse and you're the winner of it and you hold that in your hand and that's your prize. We want you to understand, my God, you have demonstrated to the populace that reads and sees this on YouTube or reads about it in magazines or papers, but we have demonstrated to the world that you are extraordinary in a way that most people, I'm sorry to say, don't realize that they're capable of doing, meaning believing they can improve their memory regardless of their age, be willing to take some time to learn what the skills are, or read a book, or watch a YouTube lesson, or talk to some of our mental athletes. Go to our website, USA Memory Championship, and take a look at an online course. Or do something to prove to themselves that when I look at this icon of a hippocampus, I've got a confidence within myself that I in fact can believe that I can improve my memory. It's a desire that I have, and I'm not going to wait for dementia or Alzheimer's or some cognitive impairment to come get me. But I'm going to be more proactive in taking steps in my life that are going to help build a muscle-like organ in my body, which happens to be called the human brain. And that's what we're going to be doing for the 25th time on September 28th. And if you're interested in seeing more about it, follow our website, USA Memory Championship. But what's been wonderful about it is we have a media crew at Full Sail University who has a group of students that actually do this as a term project. And then we edit that down and shrink down the wait time so there's not lapses in between, because we take breaks between each of the events. So that gets edited down by Nelson Dellis, who's one of our memory champions. And he edits that down, and we get it out in about 2 hours and 15 minutes so that people that are interested in seeing what did these people do and how did they do it and who won can go to YouTube, USA Memory Championship, and they can see exactly what went on at Full Sail University. And that will be available by September 29th. So Nelson works long and hard on it that evening into that morning, gets it posted out on YouTube, and by the morning of the 29th, we hope that too many phone calls and press releases or things have gone out announcing who the winner is, so that people that do watch it on Monday or Sunday get the chance to see who was our 25th USA Memory Champion. And with that, it's weekend time, and we've now started the NFL football season. We've got NCAA college football season in the middle of baseball seasons coming into their final month. So, and we've got soccer. Drive through the streets here. We see soccer fields and football fields and baseball fields. I mean, there's just, people are out and about. It's a great time of the year. But I always say to people, be safe, be smart, and look forward to seeing you again on Monday when I do my next Live with Tony. And if any of you listening to this are in the Florida area on September 28th, and you'd like to attend a live event, send me an email, and I'd be happy to arrange to get you a guest pass. With that, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.